much information, and this is a live feed. Make sure that you have your chargers nearby, okay? Grab them right now. Take a moment, go ahead and grab them. If you're on a laptop, cell phone, tablet, whatever the case may be, okay? Also, have your notebooks and or notepad app ready, because I want you to write down all of your questions. I want to make sure that you leave here today with all of your questions answered. My job today is to basically make sure that I lay everything out on the table for you. What we're going to do at the very end is, first of all, I'm probably going to answer most of the questions throughout the meeting, but whatever I don't answer, please feel free to ask me at the very end. I'm a bit of an open book. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years. I've been a travel agent for 2.5 years, so I definitely have quite a bit of knowledge in the industry. So with that said, what's going to be covered today is how to be a travel agent in today's market and enjoy the perks while working remote from home or that beach, right? How to earn your travel credentials and how to get your travel agent certification. So this may be right for you if you're interested in what the travel industry has to offer. You want to enjoy life more and start traveling. You want to take advantage of the perks of being a travel agent. You're tired of not making enough and you want to supplement your income. You want a business or a side business for yourself. You're already a travel agent and you're just simply looking for a better option, or you want to work from anywhere in the world. You know, one of the biggest blessings that I can say about this business, about what we do, is the fact that I get to be home with my kids. I get to dictate what my schedule is, right? So that's kind of a dream come true for me, especially coming from, you know, the corporate world where I work 50 to 70 hours a week, and they didn't care if I worked even more than that, right? So who are we associated with? Evolution and Archer Travel essentially became partners. Evolution Travel is the marketing arm to Archer Travel Group. What the heck does that mean? That means that originally Archer Travel started out as a brick and mortar. In order for you to book travel, to be a travel agent, you had to go in, get paid an hourly wage, maybe like $8 to $10 an hour, and you got to book travel at a desk and clock in, clock out, right? Evolution Travel came in and said, hey, we really want to empower people to be able to do this from wherever it is that they are, right? So they partnered up and here we are today. Archer Travel is our host agency. They're the ones who hold our licensing, our permitting, our insurance, all that stuff that's required to sell travel legally. So let's talk about who they are. So Archer Travel's been family owned and operated since 1952. We hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We've been accredited since 2012. And we've been in business for 68 years. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Better Business Bureau and you have your camera on, give me a nod if you know how hard it is to maintain an A+ rating, right? Like that's not an easy task. So we're very, very proud of our A+ rating. We're a travel agency with all the proper credentials for you to be confident to book travel for your friends, families, associates, and new clients. When I'm talking about all the proper credentials, this is what I mean. ASTA, NACTA, OSSN, ARC, IATAN, and CLIA. Now, for those of you who've been in the industry before, you understand exactly who these are, right? But for those of you who are sitting on the call the exact same way I was a little over 2 years ago, you're like, no clue what any of that means, right? That's okay. Before I explain a couple to you, I need to ask this in the chat box. How many of you think that in order for travel agents to make income, we have to either charge an additional fee or inflate the price? Go ahead and answer that in the chat box. In order for us to make income, just a yes or no answer. In order for us to make income, we have to charge an additional fee or inflate the price. Okay? I got some no's, I got some yeses. Okay? No, yes, no, yes. All right. The answer is actually no. But how the heck do we still make money, right? That's a very big question, especially for anybody that's not a travel agent. Or like, well, where's your money coming from? Because that sounds kind of cool. Right here, these two associations, IATAN and CLIA. CLIA is Cruise Line International Association. All cruise lines that carry passengers where the passengers pay money, they're part of CLIA. IATAN issues our IATA number. That's IATA, IATA number. That IATA number enables us to get paid commissions directly from the vendors, like hotels, car rentals, anything that falls within the travel industry. I don't know if you know this, but let's say Dawn, let's say you were to go book something on your own, okay? And you're like, I'm gonna go through Expedia because I'm a savvy shopper, right? So you go, boop, online. There's commissions built into that. Anyway, always. Directly, through the vendor, online, it doesn't matter where you're booking it, there's always commissions built in. What happens is these two numbers enable us to get paid the commissions that are already built into the pricing. So we either get paid or the company keeps the money. That's what it really comes down to, okay? So a lot of people also ask, well, why the heck would you use a travel agent when I could just book it myself? Y'all ever wonder that? Why would I use a travel agent when I could just go online and book it myself? In order to really understand that, we have to kind of think a little bit outside the box, right? We have to kind of go back in the past. Let's say Christy, let's say you were to book something on your own, okay? Maybe you had a trip planned. Let's pretend that you're going to the Bahamas. You excited? Okay, we're all gonna picture ourselves going to the Bahamas. You booked a trip on your own. You spent about $2,000 on the trip, and your trip dates are for March 2020, maybe March 15th. What happened in March 2020?
COVID.
Shut down, shut down, shut down, shut down, right? So Christy's first instinct is probably going to be to call the company as to where she booked it through, right? Whether that be Expedia, Orbitz, whatever one, right? Like, hey, what's going on? I have all these questions. Is the country open? Can I still go? Can I get my money back? Right? All these questions that were happening at that time. Did you know that so many people called these online travel agencies that their phone lines broke? Broke. Imagine yourself in that situation for 2 weeks. 2 entire weeks, no one could get through. And when you finally did get through, it's about a 6 to 8 hour hold. Kind of frustrating, right? Now, let's put yourself in a different scenario. Christy, in this scenario, you called a travel agent, somebody like myself. We booked everything for you, got a personalized service. It didn't cost you anything additional. As a matter of fact, because we have access to so many vendors, you probably got a really good deal, right? Something that maybe you couldn't even find online. And when something like this happened, everything started to shut down. You made one phone call to your travel agent. We had the answers because we're trained directly by the vendors. And we were able to either issue a refund, move your dates, whatever it is that you needed. Does that make sense to everybody? Why would we not use a travel agent, especially when it becomes a free service, right? It kind of like, before I was a travel agent, I thought the same way. But now I'm like, why wouldn't people use a travel agent? It's because people don't know. It's our job to inform them, right? The next biggest question that I get asked is, how do I know you really book travel? How do I know your company actually books travel the way that you're saying? And how do I know I'm going to book travel, right? Let's go ahead and talk about it. It's my personal opinion that documentation beats speculation every single time. Here are awards after awards for how much travel we have actually booked. We actually have more awards than this, but I couldn't fit any more on the slide. So these two awards right here, this is our Platinum Member Award. This award is given out by Apple Leisure Group. In order to receive this award, our company has to have $1 million in travel booking sales with that company specifically. And we have over 133 that we work with. So we're very, very proud of that. We took home the 2019 and the 2020, and we're also going to take home the 2021. Now, Apple Leisure Group encompasses 4 different companies: United, Blue Sky Tours, Southwest, and FunJet. Most probably heard of Southwest, United, maybe you've heard of FunJet, but unless you've been a travel agent before, you probably have never heard of Blue Sky Tours. Why? They specialize in Hawaii. That is a travel agent only website. You don't have access to it unless you have one of these 2 numbers over here. This is where these numbers become very important, right? So what does that mean when you have travel agent only access? Let's say, Norma, let's say you had a client that wanted to go to Hawaii, and they researched on their own before they called you, okay? Because let's face it, everybody's gonna put you to the test when you first start. That's just what happens, right? So they start researching on their own. They find a direct flight. They find a Hyatt in Waikiki Beach, and they call you up and they're like, listen, Norma, this is what I found for a total of $2,000. Now, let's say in this scenario, it's a price match, okay? Norma says, let me see what I can find. She goes on to Blue Sky Tours. She finds the same flight, same hotel, but the client by himself or him or herself had a standard room. But with Norma, because she has direct access and agent only access, they may be offering a free room upgrade, ocean view, right? Or maybe they're offering a spa credit, $200 spa credit, right? Even if it's a price match, Norma now holds way more value when they book with Norma. Not only is she there as backup should anything ever happen, but she's also able to include all these extra that's not coming out of Norma's pocket, right? So now she can call the client up and say, listen, I've got you the same flight, the same hotel, but with my vendors offering an ocean view rather than that standard room. And y'all, you get to go get massages while you're in Hawaii. Who are they gonna book with? Norma, 1,000%, right? Of course, so that is the value that we have. Now, do we beat pricing? Absolutely. I have beat pricing plenty of times. But do we always beat pricing? No. Why am I like not even going to sugarcoat that? Because I don't want you to put yourself in a position where you're like, I can beat any pricing, and then all of a sudden it's a price match, right? Understand the value that we have as travel agents. Now, if I were to ask you guys, what the heck makes up the travel industry, right? Everybody thinks it's people going on vacation, families, couples, you going on vacation solo, right? Whatever it is, that's what most people think of as the travel industry. But the reality is that it's an $8.8 trillion industry. $8.8 trillion. That's 4 commas for those of you taking the notes, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? $8.8 trillion. So it's got to be made up of much more than this. When we're talking about what kind of clientele can I gain, where can I specialize in a niche, right? All that kind of stuff, we have to start thinking outside the box, open up our mind. How about, is business travel part of the travel industry? 1,000%, right? Conventions, on-the-fly business meetings, company trips and events, network marketing events. This is a huge part of the travel industry. I know that firsthand. Why? I live right outside of Las Vegas. I can tell you right now, any convention that canceled in 2020, they all moved to 2021. And what do you think is happening right now in Vegas? They're slammed, right? So this is a huge part of the travel industry. Andrew, could you approach a company and say, you know what, my name is Andrew. I am a certified, licensed, and bonded travel agent. I'd absolutely love to help your company book their travel. The first question they're going to ask Andrew is they're going to say, that's cool, but what's the bottom line? That's all companies care about, right? How are you affecting my bottom line, positive or negative? But when Andrew gets to come in and say, as a matter of fact, I'm more than likely going to improve your bottom line. How? Number 1, all your employees that are currently researching their own trips for their company, I'm going to take on that research, thus saving them time. Second, I have access to over 133 vendors, which some of you don't have access to, which means that I'm always going to find you the best deal out there. The most important thing, I don't charge your company anything additional. Kind of a strong approach, right? Who's going to tell Andrew no? No one, unless they already have a travel agent. Then you might have to compete with the other travel agent. But other than that, nobody's going to tell you no, right? If you want to specialize in business travel, I suggest that you go for like smaller, newer businesses because they more than likely won't have a travel agent, right? Sports travel. Sports travel is also huge. Youth tournaments, cheerleading tournaments, esports tournaments. I'm a mom of 5. My oldest one, she's 23. My youngest is 3. That's why you see the mom button. But my oldest one, she actually played softball for years, and she played travel ball. What did that mean? Our entire team had to travel, right? I was the team mom for a lot of those years, booking the group booking for the entire team because the whole team had to stay together, but I wasn't getting paid. I didn't know that I could do the same exact work, attach an IATA number to it, and get paid. Still getting the group rate, still getting everything that I did anyway. I did not know that. Had I had known that, man, I probably could have bought a couple of cars or a house by now. Religious travel is also huge. Holy Land, mission trips, Israel, Jordan, Egypt, Africa. These are beautiful places to go to, right? But let's say that we belong to a nonprofit organization. How can we gain business here? Let's say Haley, let's say you belong to a nonprofit, okay, whatever it is, and they go on mission trips. Could Haley say, you know what, I'm certified, licensed, bonded, of course, but could Haley donate back? Absolutely. Do you have to donate back? No, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But could Haley say, listen, any travel bookings that come from this organization, I'm going to donate 5%, 10%, whatever it is Haley decides, back to this organization. What do you think is going to happen there? This is what I call working smarter, not harder. Don't you think the leader of that organization is going to be like, listen, Haley said any travel bookings that come from this organization, she's going to donate back. Here's Haley's information. Please make sure you contact Haley for any of your travel bookings. Did you do a lot of the footwork? No, right? You had one conversation and they spread the word for you. That's what I call working smarter, not harder. How about wedding travel? Wedding travel is also huge. Bachelorette party, wedding destinations, wedding cruises, international weddings. Where do all the wedding guests have to go? To the location that the bride and groom decide as to where they want to get married, right? Sometimes it's the parents of the groom, depending on who it is, right? Do you think the parents of the bride and groom or the bride and groom themselves want to be dealing with travel arrangements for all their guests? I promise you they don't. I would, if I was a betting woman, I would put all my money on it, right? I promise you they do not. Help them. You have no idea how many bride and grooms that I've made so happy because they call me up in a frantic, like, oh my gosh, I have all these guests coming in. I don't know where they're going to stay. And they're freaking out, right? And they're like, can we just hire you, please? I need to know how much you cost so I can fit it in our budget. And when I get to say, I don't charge you anything. I get paid directly by the vendors. I get paid directly by the hotel. No, you don't need to add anything to your budget. That's such a relief to them, right? We're putting ourselves in a position where we're helping people. How about the honeymoon? Do they want to go to Costa Rica, Machu Picchu, Hawaii, Bahamas? It doesn't matter where they want to go. You have access to the entire world. Why? You have an IATA number and you have a CLIA number. Those two numbers become extremely important in the travel industry. All right, so what can we sell? We are travel agents. So yes, you can sell cruises, flights and hotels, resorts and car rentals, absolutely. But we pride ourselves on being full service travel agents. Remember, it's an $8.8 trillion industry, right? So where else is the income coming from? We don't want to leave any of that on the table. How about sporting events? You know anybody that likes to go to any sporting events? Yep, this is my husband's favorite category. Why? He happens to be a huge sports fan. As I mentioned, we're from the Monterey Bay area, which means that he has a lot of Raider fans. And what did they just build right here in Las Vegas? Brand new Raider Stadium. Guess what all his friends want to do from the Bay Area? They want to come to the first Raider game, right? My husband gets to get them the best deal out there on tickets, gets to book their hotel room, and then he gets to hang out with his friends. Kind of like a win-win for my husband, right? He's like, this is like a dream. How about concerts, theme parks, shows, things to do? This all qualifies within the travel industry. Disney World is a super hot commodity right now. Disneyland just opened. Did y'all see the pictures of Disneyland opening on their first day? Woo! June 15th? Whoa, I was like, that line is forever. What does that tell you? People are ready to go, right? When somebody goes to Disney World, do they need a hotel? Do they need car rentals? Do they need a flight to get there? Do they need transportation to and from the hotel to the airport? Probably, right? And if it's their first time going, I promise you, they're not going to know what to do. That's where we come in with our expertise, right? And don't worry, if you don't know it right off the bat, that's where a senior travel agent comes in and partners up with you and shows you exactly what you need to be doing for them, right? So how much should we get paid? First of all, we get paid the highest commissions in the industry. Out of the 100% commissions, Archer Travel is paying out 90%. Out of that 90%, 10% of that goes over to your mentor. That's whomever invited you here today. 80% of that goes over to you as the booking agent, okay? So let me kind of break this down into dollars so that it makes sense. So let's say SEMA, let's say you have a client that calls you up, okay? And they want to go on a cruise. It's 2 people, 7 days on Royal Caribbean. Let's keep it simple. 2 people, 7 days, Royal Caribbean. That cruise cost is an average of about $3,000 based on the occupancy. For those of you who have ever been cruising, you know exactly what the cost is, right? About $3,000 based on the occupancy. Remember, you're not charging the client anything additional. This is whether they book through you or book direct through Royal Caribbean, they'd be getting the same price. Of that $3,000, there's 16% commission built into that price that's paid out to Archer Travel. We get paid one of the highest tier commissions with them because we book so much travel with them. 16% of $3,000 is $480. Everybody with me? $480 is the total 100% commissions that is built into that price. Out of that 480, Archer Travel keeps 10%. They're the ones holding our licensing permits, right?
Yeah.
Giving us the ability to do it from our pajamas 99% of the time, right? So they get their cut. Your mentor, that's whomever invited you here today, is going to be the person helping you, guiding you, answering your questions, making sure that you know what you need to be doing in order to succeed. So they get their cut as well,
But-
$48. If they don't know the answer,
Right.
they're gonna put you in contact with somebody like me who does know the answer, right?
Oh, give me a second, okay?
80% of that goes over to you in your pocket. So Seema, you would be putting in your pocket $384 for one cruise, 2 people, 7 days. How many of you guys would be happy with $384? Booking it from your phone. Yeah, right? It almost seems like, what, really? That happens? Yes, it happens all the time. I put that in perspective simply because I think back and I think, well, how many times have we clocked in, clocked out, been underappreciated, right? And still not made that amount of money in a day. We used to have this, I knew it was a competition. My husband didn't know so much because I didn't tell him. But to me, it was a little bit of a competition because he'd come home from work and he's a bartender. And I'm like, honey, how much did you make today? He's like, oh, I made a couple $100. Today was a good day. I'm like, cool. I just booked a trip to Hawaii and I made $900. What? He was like, this is no longer fair. I need to do what you're doing, right? So he's we call him retired now. He's officially retired from bartending. He is now officially a travel agent. So here's another example, okay? Now let's say Andrew, let's say that you have a group, okay? A group cruise, we're gonna do the same math. 7-day cruise, $3,000 based on double occupancy, 16% commission, that's $480 per cabin like we discussed, right? But now let's say, Andrew, you're working with maybe a corporate group or a family reunion or a wedding or a salsa cruise, whatever it is. 15 cabins, right? Multiply that, that's a total of $7,200 in gross commissions that is paid out to Archer Travel, okay? Of that, Archer Travel gets the 10%, your mentor gets the 10%, and you, in your pocket, you're putting $5,760 that goes in your pocket, right? He's like, okay, I like that. Now, how long does all of this take you to book? When I first started, my first cruise, a single cruise, it did take me a few days because I had no clue what I was doing. I had never been on a cruise. I had never booked a cruise. I had to ask questions. I had to go through the learning curve. 2.5 years later, I can book a cruise in less than an hour. It just really kind of depends on the client going back and forth, right? Just like with anything. Anything that you start, you've got that learning curve. But once you get it, you're off and running, right? I want to know, a group cruise, by the way, will take you more than a couple of days because you're dealing with multiple people. But I want to know in the chat box, how many group cruises of 15 cabins per month, listen to that very carefully, per month, would it take you to replace your monthly income per month? How many group cruises of 15 cabins would it take you per month to replace your monthly income? One, sometimes I get a half, sometimes I get 2, okay? Awesome. The reason why I ask that is because I want to know what your goal is, okay? I want to know what your goal is. How much do you need to make in order to fire your boss? What's that goal? In order for you to retire and be at home, what is that goal, right? Or retire your spouse for that matter. And then what I want you to do, I think my kids got to it. I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, okay? Maybe in big, bold, red letters or whatever the case may be. Write it down on a piece of paper and sign it. Because this is now your monthly income goal. When you sign it, and make it prettier than I did, okay? I just did this really quickly, but when you sign it, it becomes a contract for yourself, right? You are going to keep yourself accountable. Now, after you create your goal, you have to have a plan. What is that plan? If it's $5,000 a month, now you know you need 15 cabins per month for a 7-day cruise, double occupancy, to achieve that $5,000 a month. If it's $2,000, create the plan. If it's $15,000, create the plan. How many group cruises do you need, right? Whatever it is. Does the company put quotas on you? No, there's no quotas. You make 80% right off the bat, even on your very first booking. So if your very first booking is a group cruise, congratulations, you made the 80%. But should you have your own personal goal and keep yourself accountable? 1,000%, right? That's how we become successful. Achieve the goal, check it off, make a new one, right? All right, so how do we know we can do this? First of all, we have what's called the Travel Agent Academy. That's live and recorded travel booking training, marketing training, as well as one-on-one training with the senior travel agent. So let's say, well, first of all, our trainings take place live all throughout the day, different times of the day. Some of them repeat on the next month because we know that there's new agents that are coming in, right? And we do record a lot of them and have them in our training website, which I'll show you here in a second. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I can watch something live, but it's so much better when I can go back and pause and do, right? So that's why we have them recorded. Now, let's say that you do attend these trainings or you watch the recorded trainings and you're like, you know what, Amy, I just don't get it. That's when we schedule one-on-one training with the senior travel agents. We're gonna jump on Zoom. This is where all of our trainings take place. How much did it cost you to get on Zoom? Nothing, right? You just showed up. This is where our trainings take place, okay? And all I ask is that you reach out and you let us know, hey, I need additional help. No worries, we got you. This is where the support system comes into play. How do I know I can gain clients? Well, first of all, we all know the average social media user logs in every single day, right? This is not the only way to gain clients, but this is a very quick way to gain clients. I need to know how many times a day do you log into your preferred social media platform? Whether that be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, whatever it is. Go ahead and answer that in the chat box. How many times a day do you log into your preferred social media platform, right? Stay logged in, 1, all right, too many, at least 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, cool, right? The reality is that a lot of us don't even log out. We're bored, we go click, and we start to check out what's going on in the world, right? Like 10 times, right? I appreciate the honesty, I appreciate that. The reality is that when we are on social media, we are consuming information. Let me ask you guys this question. How many of you guys Google something? Right? Here's my favorite thing to Google when I'm traveling. Best tacos near me. Like, I need to know where those tacos are, okay? Right? That's a form of social media. I don't know if you guys know that, right? What's happening is when we Google something, a business page will pop up. And then you can click on it, you see the hours, you see their phone number, you see their ratings, all that stuff, right? I Google everything too, trust me. Did you know that it's actually free to create a Google business page? So that when somebody searches for travel agent near me, Dawn pops up. Dawn Travel Getaways pops up, right? Whatever Dawn wants to name her company. That's how we think outside the box and how we expand our network. See, most of the time people come into this going, well, my friends and family don't like to travel. That's sad for your friends and family. We need to get you to know new people, right? We have to expand your network. I'll tell you right now, about 0.5%, maybe 1% of my clients are my actual family. The remaining 99.5% are strangers. I've never met them before in my life. I've actually met some now after the fact. But how did that happen? They came to me. Did I do cold calling? Ugh. Anybody like cold calling? No. How about cold messaging? Being the spammer? No, don't do that. That's bad business practice. Don't do it, okay? But what you want to do is have a strong enough marketing strategy that is out there where clients are then coming to you, planting the seed, right? Just like we spoke about earlier. The reality is, on average, it's about 1 to 10 times a day that people log in, right? Every second, 11 people use social media for the first time. In 2017, there was almost 2.5 billion people on social media. In 2020, there was almost 3.8 billion, which is more than half the world's population. Why would we not use this to our advantage? We don't have to pay for it. A lot of people think, oh, in order for social media to work, I have to shell out the money for advertisements. No, you don't. You have to utilize the algorithms in your favor. But most of the time, people don't know how to do that. That's something that I actually teach personally. Why? Because I had to figure it out. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money. I didn't have a bunch of money to spend when I first started. And now all the clients are coming to me. All right. So is this the only way? Absolutely not, right? We have plenty of other ways: email campaigning, networking, face-to-face, passing out business cards. There's the brochures from the vendors that you can hand out at waiting rooms. There's all sorts of different ways of marketing, but I'll tell you right now, this is probably the easiest and the quickest way to market. So what do you get? You get your free exclusive training website as well as your own travel website. So let me show you guys what that looks like, okay? So this is our training website. First of all, welcome to Team Infinity. This is our organization and all of you will be part of it. So all of you get this training website, okay? So what we did is we actually recognized that a lot of travel agents were struggling with what's the next step. I personally hate wasting time, right? Like, don't waste my time with some nonsense. I want to know what I should be doing next. So what we did is we got together with a few senior travel agents and created step 1, step 2, step 3. And in here, like you can see, this is step 1, register with the top 15 to 17 vendors. That's kind of crucial, right? Because you never want to be caught with not being registered with the vendor and then you can't book travel. Kind of crucial for you to know. VAX training with myself. This is a travel agent only website. You need to know how to navigate that. Lock bookings with Jody Wariski. I love her story. She started in January 2020. And she started because she was looking for a way out of her job. She didn't like her boss anymore. Some management stuff had changed. She wasn't really loving it anymore. So she was looking for something different. She found this, joined it, and said, all right, let me check it out. I'll see, right? It was kind of like a little negative about it, but she put in her full effort. And 6 weeks later, she had booked over $40,000 in travel booking sales. 6 weeks later, she fired her boss. Now, then the pandemic came, March 2020, right? All of us travel agents were like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? But we all kept a positive mind. We gotta keep plugging away. Let's keep going, right? Because inadvertently what happened is we realized travel didn't go anywhere. Travel didn't go anywhere. What happened in July of 2020 when stuff started to open? We got a flurry of phone calls. Hey, I want to go here. Hey, I heard this is open. Hey, can you help me? I don't know what to do. I don't know what's required, etc. Right? That's where the travel agents really came into play. I'm happy to say that our business, Jody's business, survived a pandemic. And not many businesses can say that, unfortunately, right? That's kind of a big deal. Taxes, you guys. We're a 1099 position, which means that you are an independent contractor. That also means that you qualify for over 468 tax write-offs, like part of your cell phone bill, part of your Wi-Fi bill, part of your rent or mortgage, as long as you have a dedicated office space, becomes a tax write-off. How about, hey, Christy, don't you need to go to Hawaii to see what it's like to recommend it to your clients? Yeah. Don, don't you got to go to the Bahamas and go check it out for your clients? Yes. Norma, don't you have to go to Cancun to go check it out? Yes. Guess what that is? Product research. Andrew knew it. It's product research, right? That means that's a tax write-off. You want to see the world and get your money back? Tax write-off, right? So super important for us to know that as well. Now, our booking website, okay? So everybody gets the same booking website. This is the template. You upload your picture, you upload your bio right here, contact information, client photo gallery, travel blog. All the travel specials are updated and maintained by Archer Travel. Your recommended specials, those are updated and maintained by you. Unless you have nothing there, then Archer Travel will put something there for you. And your clients can submit a vacation quote request straight from your website as well, okay? So basically a website that's already done for you. What else? You get the Archer certification, a full back office that keeps track of all of your travel bookings and commissions, as well as direct access to our vendors and wholesale pricing. So when I'm talking about vendors, as I mentioned, we have over 133 that we work with. In 68 years, we've not lost a relationship with any vendor. When you see Platinum Preferred over here on the left-hand side, this means we get paid the highest tier commission with them because we've booked so much travel with them. When I'm talking about vendors, this is what I mean. Sandals, Southwest, Disney, Funjet, United, here's some more. Hilton, Marriott, Sheraton, Viking, Norwegian, Beaches, right? These are big brand names. Most of the time when people look at this list, because it's so many, they're like, you're a travel club. No, we are not a travel club. With a travel club, you don't get an IATA number and you don't get a CLIA number, okay? Again, those are very important in the travel industry. When we have direct access, this is what I mean. Let me go ahead and show you what I mean. So let's go over to, let's go to DisneyTravelAgents.com, okay? Because everybody should know Disney, in my opinion. I might be slightly obsessed. Let's go ahead and get logged in, okay? And I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. So you can see this orange advisory here. This is telling us, and this is how travel agents are always in the know, right? We hear it directly from the vendors. We don't hear it from the grapevine. We're getting it straight from the vendors, right? Like, to enter the park, both a park reservation and valid admission for the same park same day required for guests 3 and up. Kind of important for clients to know. You can't just buy tickets and just show up anymore. You have to have a reservation, right? So these are very important things for us to know. When you have direct access, it also means that you have access to anything that they're offering. You can see here, 25% off on select rooms at Disneyland resorts. You have the same thing. The difference being is that you are making the commissions that are already built in, even when it's on sale. Even when it's on sale. How do you book travel? Oops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. How do you book travel? Simple. You choose the location, you choose the check-in, check-out dates, how many adults, how many children, click on find prices. The difference being from booking for yourself versus booking for someone else is once you click on find prices, it gives you the option to send a quote to your client. And then once you send the quote, they approve it, and then you enter in their information and book it for them. When you have direct access, this is where it really comes into play. Let's say Christy, let's say you're Disney obsessed like I am. I don't know if you are or not, but she's like, yes, cool, we're gonna get along. And you really want to be a Disney certified specialist, right? Like you really want to specialize in Disney. How do you do that? Right here, College of Disney Knowledge. It doesn't mean you have to take this in order to book travel. You can already book travel. But when you take this, it opens up additional benefits for you. How much does this cost you to do? Nothing. You either do it or you don't. It's completely up to you. It's not like my daughter's college that cost me an arm and a leg and a toe and everything else under the sun, it felt like, right? So when you have direct access, you also have access to the marketing tools. So you can see here, a mini website, right? A mini site is where it's all branded with Goofy, Donald, Mickey, and it has all the Disney information at the bottom. It says contact your travel advisor, Christy, whatever Christy's last name is, and her phone number. That means that you are using Disney branding to now use it for your business for clients to find you. It's kind of big, right? Because we all know how stingy Disney is. Collateral. Collateral is, my kids took my other brochures off my desk, but this is like a travel agent guide, right? So that we know exactly what the key points are for clients. It has like all the maps and key points and, discussion topics for clients and stuff like that. It also, Collateral is like those big, beautiful brochures that are like 8.5 by 11 that are colored. That's what I mean by Collateral. Now, I saw the store word and I was like, all right, let's pull out my credit card. And I told my husband, I said, I'm gonna buy a couple things. He's like, okay, fine. I went in, clicked how much I needed, put in my name, put in my address, and it never asked me for my card. I was shocked. You know what happened then? I clicked the back button and went click, 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 click. I need it all, right? And 2 boxes showed up at my door. My husband's like, whoa, what did you order? And I was like, I didn't pay for it. It's our travel. It's because we are travel agents and they want us to have the materials that we need, right? So that's what I mean by direct access. All right, let's keep going. So wholesale pricing is a little different than direct access, okay? And there's a pro and a con to booking direct versus booking wholesale, which I promise to explain that as well. Now, let's say this is our wholesale pricing, okay? Let's say Dawn, let's say you have a client that wants to go to Miami Beach, okay? They researched on their own and they want to stay at the Marriott. This is a 1 king sofa bed for June 4th through June 8th for a total of $768.12, right? Before they called Dawn, they looked on regular Expedia. We also have the travel agency side of Expedia, which means that we get paid the built-in commissions already, right? But for this is a regular Expedia, what the clients can see. They find the same hotel, same date, same everything for a total of $722.94. So they're like, woohoo, I'm saving like 40 bucks, right? Now they call up Dawn and they're like, Dawn, I want to see what you can do. This is what I found. She says, cool, send me a screenshot, because I never take it at face value. I always want to see it, right? And she says, okay, cool, let me go ahead and take a look. She looks at her wholesale pricing because this is not open to the public. No one else can see this, okay? Finds this Marriott, Miami Beach, same date, same room type for a total of $381.26. What does that mean for Dawn's client? Could Dawn then say, hey, listen, I found you the same thing for a total of $699, saving the client a little extra money, client's happy. What happens with that discrepancy of about $314? Dawn's pocket, that's where that goes, okay? Not too bad, right? So what I love about that is that we have the ability to have the option. Do we want to book direct Do we want to get the benefits of booking direct, or do we want to book wholesale and put money in our pocket right now, right? I'll explain the pros and cons here in a second, but I do need to start talking about some fun stuff, okay? So I need to know in the chat box, let's talk about the perks. Who here would like to earn a free cruise? Who here wants to earn a free cruise? Go ahead and tell me in the chat box. I need to see all the answers. Yes. Okay, cool. Awesome. Tells me a lot of you are not afraid of the water, right? That's good. Sounds terrible, just kidding, right? Okay, so how do we earn it? Okay, we do have to earn it. Notice that word earn, right? And we do have to pay the taxes and port fees. Can't get around that. Thank you, government, right? But just like how I showed you guys with Disney, you become a Disney certified specialist. You do the same thing with Princess Cruises. Okay, when you become a Princess Cruise certified specialist, Princess Cruises says, thank you so much, Kayla, for learning all about Princess Cruises. We want you to go experience a cruise. From a 3-day up to a 30-day cruise, you choose where you want to go. 3-day up to 30 days. Why the heck would they do that? Think about this. Isn't it like if I were to sit here and tell Kayla about this amazing restaurant that I ate at, that's cool. She might go check it out or whatever the case may be, right? But when Kayla experiences that restaurant, she's going to tell it a little differently, right? She's going to talk about what she loves. It's the same thing with cruises. When Norma, you go on a cruise, first of all, you're probably going to be like, click, 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 click. Look at me on my free cruise, right? That's advertising. That's called attraction marketing. The second thing that happens is you gain knowledge. You know what the food tastes like. You know what the staffing is like. You know what the bedrooms look like, or cabins, I should say, right? So that's why they do that. Now, the tax and port on that, let me kind of put that in perspective. My husband and I, we did choose a 15-day cruise going out of Los Angeles, going to Hawaii. That means that we are sailing the 7 islands of Hawaii and for 15 days. Tax and port on that is $147 per person. $147 per person. It's for you and a guest. That means my husband and I are traveling for 15 days on a cruise for a total of $350. Do y'all remember what a 7-day cruise cost? Major, major perk, right? I need to know in the chat box, how many days are you guys going? 3 days? 5 days? Who's out of here for 30 days? Who's like, I'm out. 30 days, see you later, right? Heck yes, I would totally